What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TEW Confrontational. My name is Ty Workington here with my little brother, Evan
What up?
Workington.
What up?
Back at you with episode number 31. A lot of stuff to talk about on this episode. We got week one officially wrapped up on Monday with the Jets and the Bills. Pretty tragic news happening
Big
with
news.
that
Big
game.
news.
It was an exciting game overall, but yeah, four snaps in on the Jets' first drive.
hmm
Um, yeah, Aaron Rodgers goes down. It kind of just looked like he might have twisted his ankle or something like that.
Yeah,
But
it didn't like initially like he got up, he was walking around on it, and then he looked to the sideline. I'm guessing he looked at Robert Saleh and was like
he sat
looking like
down.
holy shit, and then he sat down. And then after that was kind of just like a domino effect. Like obviously they took him out, they helped him off the field, and then they took him back to the blue tent,
Yeah,
and then they took him after the blue tent.
they brought a card out to the blue tent.
Yeah, and took him back for X-rays,
Right.
and that there was already like some people like kind of guessing what happened, you know. But I think after the X-rays came back negative, they knew it was like wasn't a broken ankle or anything like that.
Right.
But then like the speculation of like okay, he had a calf strain earlier, like it was like televised on Hard Knocks, so everybody kind of knew about that. Yeah, ended up tearing his ACL. They put him in a boot, and they did
Yeah.
MRI this morning. I don't know what time it was, 10, 11 o'clock, and yeah, completely tear of his left Achilles. So
Yeah, ruptured his Achilles. Yeah, and if you're a Jets fan at this point, the hype going up into the season, getting Aaron Rodgers, getting Allen Lazard, getting Dalvin Cook, getting all these additions and everything like that. Um, Everyone says you're going to the Super Bowl. You're going to the Super Bowl, and then yeah, for third offensive play, one of the plays was holding, so it didn't really count. But the third offensive play, the fourth snap,
mhm.
goes down. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then it ends season-ending injury. There's hardly any hope that he'll be back. It's like a 9-month recovery process.
yeah,
Uh,
he's for sure
could
not
be
coming back
longer
this year.
because he's 39 going on 40. So, but yeah, like with his contract structure, with the competitive spirit that Aaron Rodgers has, you'll definitely see him back out on the field next year, hopefully.
Yeah, I definitely think
I would
so.
say, yeah, I would say 90% chance that he's going to be back on the field next year. But yeah, what a devastating blow to the start of the season, week one.
hmm
But then yeah, you had Zach Wilson come in, back up right away, and he had a few good passes to Allen Lazard and to Garrett Wilson, but kind of struggled throughout the
Yeah,
game.
I
But
mean that even
Brees Hall looked really good.
Brees Hall looked good. Dalvin Cook didn't look great.
But
Um,
I think he went like 13 for 65 or 50 some yards. I
yeah,
mean,
but that's a lot of carries for that amount of yards. I mean, never had any big gains.
no, not huge
Um,
gains, but Brees Hall had a couple big
Yeah, he had an
gains.
80 yarder. I think he right off the first run of the game was 40 was it 40 50 yards. Um, no, it's pretty impressive. Brees Hall looked good.
Yeah, Jets
Um,
defense looked outstanding.
yep,
Shout out to Jordan Whitehead, who had 3 picks, got a
yep.
$250,000 bonus for having a hat trick in a game.
And
So
and no shout out to Josh Allen. Looked terrible.
yeah, a couple bad decisions were made. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
two of them, yeah, were just prayers thrown up there, like just throwing the
hmm
ball, like almost like punts, pretty much
I
for
think that one
Jordan
was. I think that
Whitehead. But
one was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna throw it deep if my receiver catches it, they do. But yeah, it was probably a better interception or where you put the ball at than it would have been a punt. So.
yeah, but
Um,
he give it to Josh Allen. He has a cannon.
70-yard
Like,
pass when that
and
one.
he's like falling over and like off balance and still
hmm
on a rope.
Yeah, it
Like
was.
70 yards is like not lobbed up. It's like
Yeah,
lasered there. He has a cannon,
but
but
even though like the last drive, bringing it down to kick a field goal to tie it up and put it into OT, that connection with him and
barely tie it up. I mean,
barely, yeah, that doinker
snuck
right off
in. Yeah.
well, bounced off the left upright. Yeah, but Stephon Diggs and that connection, like they did the last drive, he got the ball 3 times in a row
Yeah.
for big gainage. Why didn't they do that the whole game?
Yeah, he had I think it was 9 catches for 110 catches for 127 yards. I
Yeah,
believe.
but
So
yeah, I want to hop back to that Aaron Rodgers thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just that first drive, like the first snap. I mean, first 4 plays, everybody's pumped to watch their new quarterback there for the next 2 years, hopefully. But you could just tell the offensive line was not there just right off the gates. He got pressured all 4 times besides that Brees Hall run. So 3 times out of the they were getting pressure on him. So I don't know.
Yeah, but that Bills defense is really good. They're going to be
hmm
top five, if not, yeah, top three
But
probably by the end of the
yeah,
season. But
thoughts and prayers to Aaron Rodgers and a speedy recovery, and
and
I'm
then
excited to see him back. I want to see him back, and
yeah, and then with that game time field goal, I don't know, I kind of spaced out there, but with that game time field goal sent into the overtime,
yep,
and then Jets stopped the Bills. Bills received the first kickoff in overtime. Jets
very
stopped them
short,
3-and-out, and then kicked a
very short punt.
yeah, it was about a 40, 50-yard punt. It was kind of a line drive. It didn't have much hang time, but yeah, Toppin, kind of like the star of Hard Knocks, or not the
Gibson,
star,
yeah,
Gibson, yeah. Kind of like one of the highlights, like that short guy with the
mm-hmm.
other taller wide receiver. He goes for an 80-yard walk-off
No,
punt
yeah,
return.
yeah, like I'm 50 or 60, yeah, because it was right on the other side of their
Yeah, I guess,
middle of the
yeah,
field, so it was like
probably
a
like
60, 65
60,
yarder,
70-yarder, yeah, something
but
like that. But
walk off,
still walk off, and to end
and
it like that
which with all of
with
like
Aaron
the
Rodgers going down.
yeah, with all of the adversity that they had throughout the game, ups and downs, it's a good team win,
Yeah,
but
stadium was crickets.
yeah,
You
and they're
could
gonna look for. I think they're
when
gonna
Aaron
look
Rodgers
for.
went down.
They're gonna look for a veteran quarterback. I know that. There's a few out there. I know
I don't know. I like. I mean, do not like
they don't have a third string
Zach
quarterback though.
Wilson.
They don't have another quarterback on the roster anymore. They might have that.
They had
What's his
Boyle,
Tim
Tim
Boyle?
Boyle.
Is he still on the roster?
Yeah, he's on the practice squad,
No, because
but they
they're bringing him
didn't.
up.
They'll bring him up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're still gonna look for a veteran quarterback. I know Robert Saleh said, "Yeah, we're sticking with Zach Wilson." If you lose a few games, you might have a different thought. They're still like Matty Ice. He was
Well, last year they were 7-4 to start the season in playoff contention with Zach Wilson at the starting quarterback position.
yeah,
So I mean, they still have, and then the last like 6 games they collapsed, but.
yeah, but
Now that they revamped the offense, added a couple pieces on defense, they could still make a run with Zach Wilson. I guarantee
yeah,
that.
maybe, yeah. But I mean, like you just said that, yeah, they brought on so many of these pieces to kind of surround Aaron
Around
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, not around
But
Zach Wilson.
that would feel like kind of a waste if you're not going to put that star power quarterback in there. Zach Wilson doesn't he's not a star yet. This has been in the league for 2 or 3 years. Like he doesn't have that star power yet. So
Yeah, but it was kind of a fluke. But speaking of star power, going back, so that was Monday night, but going back to Thursday night, you see the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champs, go down to the Detroit Lions. Kind of shocked everybody. I think maybe not everybody, but
yeah,
kind of shocked me that I had KC winning that game pretty handedly. I
I did too.
thought.
Lions look good. I think the Chiefs looked. I mean, Chiefs looked not great, but Kadarius Toney looked absolutely awful.
Yeah,
He
and
had 3 big drops.
and they were missing 2 key pieces in Chris Jones and Travis Kelce, one on the defense, one on the offense, and Travis Kelce missing was a huge.
Yeah,
It was blatantly obvious that.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
was
That's a
missing,
security blanket.
for sure.
But look at, I mean, speaking of, yeah, Chris Jones, he did come to an agreement with the Chiefs, a 1 year deal. I think it's a very incentivized contract, but he worth up to like 23, 24 million that he can make. I think he has to play like there's 25% snaps. He gets another million or two, and then so on, like 50, 75.
Right, and it was kind of an awkward situation where he was at the game on Thursday, and I don't know.
With
I don't
his
think there was
agents.
any. I don't think it was really like a disrespectful kind of thing. It was the celebration of the Super Bowl win and kind of hanging the banner and all that stuff. So I don't know if he was supporting that or if, yeah, I'm not sure. If
Kind
it
of weird.
was
He was
like
with
a
his agents too, so I don't know if they're meeting with,
right after the game.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I could tell Chris Jones was missing defense. I mean, defense looked pretty good. They had a couple takeaways, but I mean, other than that, yeah, just no offense whatsoever. But the Lions looked good. Amon St. Brown looked good.
Jared Goff. Golf.
Didn't get to see a whole lot of Jahmyr Gibbs, but I mean,
He only got hit 5 or 6 carries, but he's explosive as shit. He's so quick.
Catches, yeah, and he is very quick, very elusive. And then David Robinson had a good game. He had a game-winning touchdown with like 7 minutes left in the game to kind of secure that win.
David Robinson?
David Montgomery.
Montgomery. Yeah, you said
did I say
Robinson.
Oh,
Yeah, David Montgomery.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, David Montgomery had like a 8 to 10 yard run, kind of a breaking probably 3 or 4 tackles on the
Yeah.
way to the end zone for that game securing touchdown. But
Yeah.
no, might be kind of scary to see Detroit come conference
I don't
time
think
or
that
division time.
they were
So
playing a team that didn't have all their pieces there, and Detroit was fully healthy. So,
yeah, but I
um,
mean, still,
and they beat them by 1 point. It wasn't like a crazy win, like oh they just dominated them.
yeah,
It was
no,
a 1 point game.
it was a
So,
pretty boring game, but
um,
yeah, it was still Monday night or Thursday night football for home season opener.
mhm,
So it was kind of cool to have that
yeah,
on. But yeah, and then going on to the next game, we had Minnesota Vikings and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kicking off at noon on Sunday, and yeah, back to the old Minnesota Vikings, always losing 1 point games instead of winning them like we did last year.
yeah.
So
Didn't Vikings did not deserve that to win that game at all. Kirk Cousins was 2 fumbles. I don't know what their communication was with the center and the
well,
quarterback,
it's a new center that we brought in this year. So
and
I
also threw an
think,
interception.
yep, those the two fumbles right away definitely hurt us. I mean, we only lost by three, and we had three turnovers.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not mad
But you
about
get the thing
that.
is you got the same pretty much the same team besides Adam Thielen, and obviously you lost Dalvin Cook, but like Alexander Madison played. This is a brand new Bucks team, like the brand new quarterback,
Well, not that's brand new quarterback. That's
and
basically it.
yeah, but that's the head of your team.
But yeah, Baker is a competitor. And I think Baker can fit in pretty much any system. I
Yeah,
mean,
but same old
but
Vikes, and then yeah,
but yeah, so Vikings ended up losing that 20-17, which hurts. Got to limit the turnovers. But we got to see Jordan Addison with a touchdown. That was cool. Justin Jefferson goes off for 120 yards in
he
the
had the
first
first
half.
touchdown. Yeah,
In the yeah, JJ going off for 120 in the first half. The only thing, he was limited to 150 total, so only 30 yards in the second half.
so they kind of shut him
Um,
down towards the second half.
yeah, Madison did all right. I mean, yeah, Tampa Bay's defense is pretty stout with Javante David or Levante David
Levante David,
and then
White,
Devin White.
yeah,
So yeah, two stellar linebackers. So it's tough to run on that team. But yeah, our passing game was there. Kirk Cousins is ranked second in yards behind Tua Tagovailoa
yeah.
with and
Yeah, let's just hop to that game then. Bring
yeah.
that game up.
So yeah, Miami and the Chargers going over to down south. Um, yeah, was it in Miami, or it might have been in LA, but anyway, yeah, Miami and the Chargers face up. I thought that was the most electrifying game of the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Score ended up
And
being
we knew
what?
that. We kind of figured that would be one of the best games of the whole slate of the week one. Yeah, 36-34,
Yeah.
a tight game.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that game a ton. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like with this, just looking at the stats, Tua 466 yards, Tyreek Hill 215 receiving yards.
With two tutties.
Yeah, so it looks like they got that connection already stamped down from last year. So as long as Tua Tagovailoa can stay healthy, I think they're going to be a pretty good team, especially with like Jalen Waddle and everything like that. So
Yeah, but Chargers look good as well. I mean, Justin Herbert had a solid game, and then you had Austin Eckler, and then you have the backup Joshua Kelly, who also I think Joshua Kelly, who balled out, had 9 carries for 91 yards, and a touchdown as a backup behind
yeah,
Austin Eckler. So it kind of was a run heavy approach for the Dolphins, but I mean. Or not for the Dolphins,
the
for the Chargers,
Chargers.
but they still had Keenan Allen had 6 catches for 60 yards.
Yeah.
And then they're so but yeah, what did you think about and what are some of the other games that kind of stood out
Yeah,
like
so
electrifying
we'll
besides
just
like the Jets and the Chargers?
yeah, we'll go down. I mean, we can just kind of go through all of them. I thought the one that kind of meant the most to see how good a team is going to be is the divisional game. The Cowboys Giants. Cowboys walked all over the Giants. Didn't really see much out of the Giants offensive line, and I know obviously the Cowboys defense is really good, but they just bullied what's his name, the quarterback for the Giants, Danny Dimes.
Danny, yeah.
Yeah. So they just bullied him, absolutely bullied him, 140-0. Yeah. Look out. NFL's got to look out because the Cowboys this might be their year because that was because the Giants were good last year and they brought some pieces on to help out like Darren Waller, and they just absolutely just shut him out. And like they still have a good run like Saquon Barkley, like I don't know, it was a pretty crazy game. The Cowboys look really good.
Yeah, it definitely reminded me a lot of the Minnesota Dallas game last year where Minnesota got shut out by Dallas. Like couldn't get anything going. Run game non-existent, pass game non-existent. special teams. They're beating us every which way, and that's what the Cowboys did to the Giants. They scored an offensive touchdown, a defensive touchdown, and a special teams touchdown
Yep.
all in the first half.
And that's what wins
Um,
championships, I think.
yeah, and it was yeah, their defense looked crazy good, crazy fast. Michael Parsons is a game wrecker. Diggs back there at corner, and then they have another safety who had a pick that game. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, no, Cowboys look scary. Tony Pollard, great decision to release Zeke, I think, with Tony Pollard as your backup. He
Mm-hmm.
goes 14 for 70 with 14 carries for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Also, had a couple of catches.
Dak didn't. I mean, he didn't look bad, but he didn't have many
He didn't
yards.
have to make any plays down the field. I mean, they were
Yeah.
barely on offense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their defense would score, and then the defense would be
Back on the field.
back out on there again.
Yeah.
But no, CD Lamb still played good. CD Lamb went. Let me see here. Four catches for 77 yards, but like I said, they didn't have a whole
A lot of
time
big
on
plays.
offense.
I mean, that's a good average.
Yeah, there's a couple mid
15,
passes,
16 yard
and then
average.
you
So
would run it a couple
yeah.
10, 15 yards. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
So yeah, another game we can talk about, which kind of shows a team that's not going to be up to standard or what they were last year, is the Bengals Browns game.
that was a tough game for
And
the
speaking of
Bengals.
before that game even started, the week or a few days prior, Joey Burrow gets the most expensive contract in NFL history, a 5-year, $275 million contract.
And then comes out and absolutely wets the bed.
Yeah, it doesn't even put a touchdown on the board. They lose 24-23.
No, 24-3.
24-3, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said, yeah, I misspoke.
Yeah,
But
24-3. They got
didn't put a
pretty
touchdown on
much
the board.
shut out. Yeah, non-existent offense for the Cincinnati Bengals, which usually you see they come out wholly like explosive, but they only had 142 yards on 54 plays and only had 6 first downs.
Yeah.
Browns come out, yeah, had 21 first downs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Nick Chubb still looks like a dog.
Deshaun Watson's
Deshaun Watson played decent, yeah. But yeah, Deshaun Watson, 150 yards and a touchdown, but he had a pick. I don't think there's
who'd that receiver have? He came from the Jets.
Elijah Moore. I
Yeah.
think it was like 4 catches for like 50 yards. I didn't jump
Okay,
that down.
yeah,
It wasn't an impressive stat line or anything by any means. But yeah, Nick Chubb running for 100 plus. And then you see on the defensive end, you have Myles Garrett. I don't know if you saw any clips of this, but Myles Garrett was literally
Yeah,
doing
basketball between the
moves
legs.
on the center. And so yeah, they're moving like kind of Micah Parsons did that as well, kind of moved into the over the guard or the center,
Mm-hmm.
but he was making the Cincinnati Bengals line look like clowns out there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he was just wrecking the game. Him and Micah Parsons, I got to say, are probably the 2 best defensive
Absolutely.
pass rushers in the
Yeah.
league for sure. I
Um,
guess on the other hand, like along with pass rushers, TJ Watt
TJ Watt. Yep.
had
3
like,
sacks.
yep, 3
But
sacks and a forced fumble.
I was just gonna say that, talking about teams that didn't live up to our hype, that we said the Steelers were gonna be
Yeah.
this big old train. They get smoked. That final score was, let me see, I had that written down.
30-7.
30-7. Yep.
But it is the 49ers, and the 49ers are a solid squad.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy coming back off that elbow surgery, played really well. 220 yards and 2 touchdowns and no errors, no
Yeah.
interceptions, no turnovers or anything like that. So with that, and then you have Christian McCaffrey going up for 150 yards and a touchdown, and then yeah, Brandon Ayuk showing out. Debo Samuel didn't have a crazy game, but Brandon Ayuk had 8 catches for 130 yards and 2
Yeah.
touchdowns. So when you have that, and then you have your defense with Fred Warner, and all those guys stopping the ball, and then Joey Bosa or Nick or Joey.
I think it's Nick
Nick, who
Bosa.
just signed his contract with the 49ers, going out there wrecking games as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's I don't know, it's kind of a tough game. Yeah, there was no offense for the Steelers really.
no.
George Pickens didn't have a game.
Najee couldn't get the ball going.
Allen Robinson was the only one who had a decent stat line with like 5 catches and like 65 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not a good showing from the Steelers. But I think yeah, give them a couple games and they'll gel, and I think they'll come
Yeah.
out hot or come finish the season hot again like they did last year. But What about your game, the Packers and the Bears?
Super stoked. I mean,
A
they
very
looked
impressive game
very good.
from the
That one
Packers.
was we won 38-20. We let them. I mean, we were up. Could have put 45 on the board, but no, it looked really good. Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Aaron Jones looks like usual. Looks like a baller.
Yep.
He needs to get the ball a lot more. And you can always mix in AJ Dillon here and there, but Romeo Doubs looked like a beast. And also, I'm excited for Christian Watson to be back. I don't know if he's going to be back this coming week when we play the Falcons, but hopefully he gets back on the field here in week 3 and start getting that that rhythm back together. But yeah, they looked really good. I'm excited for the whole season and just seeing because I know we're winning more than 7 games. Um, yeah, I think I was excited. Saw really great things from them.
Yeah,
I couldn't complain at all
100%. That was
from
a yeah
from yeah.
great debut for Jordan Love. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, going 15 for 27 for 245 and 3 touchdowns, no errors. Yeah, Romeo Doubs balling out with 2 touchdowns. And then yeah, Aaron, like you said, Aaron Jones balling out with 2 touchdowns, one receiving, one
One rushing,
rushing,
yep.
and yeah, and with their defense holding. I mean,
Defense.
didn't necessarily. Yeah, they held Justin Fields, but he still threw for like 220 yards and ran for 60. But
Hmm.
he's hard to contain, and he proved that last couple of years.
Yeah, but
Hard to contain, but yeah, good overall offense, defense, and special teams for the
hmm
Packers. Put up 38, very impressive with a new quarterback
yep,
and
second
everything
most
like that.
points this week, right behind the Cowboys.
Yeah, so yeah, great showing from the Packers. Few other games, kind of just going over them. Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. Vegas wins that one 17-16. Jimmy G, as usual, dump downs, slants, short passes, things of that nature. But he was able to lead the Raiders to a Week 1 victory. Jacoby Myers balled out. He was kind of the start of that game over Devontae Adams on the Raiders side with 2 touchdowns. But still, Devontae Adams with 6 catches and 66 yards.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, more of a defensive battle. Didn't see a whole lot out of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and
Kind of
I didn't see a whole lot out of
played decent, but I mean, wasn't. Yeah,
like I
go.
didn't see a whole lot out of Jerry Judy either.
Yeah, no. I mean, he Russell Wilson only threw for 177 yards,
Yeah,
so not a. It was a lot of check down, short passes, kind of very boring game.
but I mean,
But
also the Raiders are a decent team.
yeah,
There's nothing, and they kept it close, so there's nothing to hang your hat about. I mean, they didn't get their asses beat.
mhm. Yeah, Philadelphia, New England. A lot of games on the East Coast were wet. There was a lot of rain out on the East Coast for pretty much every game
Hmm.
out there. But Philadelphia ends up beating the Patriots 25-20. Yeah, not a very. Eagles only had 250 total yards. It was more running, not even running, but yeah, just short yard plays. Clock continuously runs, and then yeah, just
Yeah, and
kind of
I mean that's
defensive
not a
battle.
bad win. I mean, for New England, I mean you should be happy about that game. I
Yeah,
mean, this team made a Super Bowl last year, um, and they have a lot of new pieces. I mean, Juju coming out. I didn't see how many yards Juju Smith-Schuster had, but um, I think that's a good loss, losing by 5 points to a team that made it that far last year. They shouldn't, like I said, hang their hats on that game because um, they're
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, no, 100%. AJ Brown and had 7 catches for 80 yards. Devontae Smith 7 for 50 and a touchdown. So they still balled out. They did their thing. Darius Slay had a pick six, about a 70-yard pick six at that. But yeah, Mac Jones still threw for 316 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Hmm.
Kendrick Bourne balled out, had 6 catches for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I mean, looking at fantasy options, if Kendrick Bourne's still out there, it might be a good addition. Doesn't look like Juju's gonna do much in New England either.
And I
With
think he
Zeke.
will. I mean, you can't do it. I mean, yeah, Zeke lost the fumble Zeke.
Yeah,
But no, I wouldn't base anything off the first game. I mean, obviously
yeah,
it's
it
something to
was
look at,
raining. They're
but
not passing a lot, but Mac
I
Jones
think
had three.
Juju's still gonna get the ball quite a bit.
Yeah,
But a game kind of similar to the one. This one was pretty tight, and then like, obviously you mentioned the Raiders Broncos. The Titans Saints game was 15-16.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and then had the Saints taking that one.
yeah,
Um,
and yeah, Saints are gonna be good. I like the Derek Carr debut. Played really well, gelled really well with Chris Olave and
Chris Olave played really good. Michael Thomas played decent.
Michael Thomas played good too. Yeah, so Derek Carr 22 for 33 for 305 yards. Chris Olave 8 catches for 112 yards. Rashid Shaheed, remember that name? He had 5 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. And then Michael Thomas 5 catches for 61 yards. So I mean, Saints look really
Pretty
good.
yeah, pretty low scoring for that amount of yardage.
Yeah, and then Tannehill trash throws 3 interceptions. I want. What are your opinions?
I've
on
already said it
Tannehill?
multiple times in this podcast. I think he's overrated and he's not good.
But I have said it on this podcast too, where I think he's underrated and overlooked. I mean, yeah, I don't know, but you have D Hop there, only got like 7 catches for like 65 yards, so I don't know. I mean, and then Derrick Henry didn't have a touchdown, so I don't know what's going on over there in Tennessee. But yeah, New Orleans looks good on offense and defense.
And wait till they get Alvin Kamara back.
Right,
Jamal
right.
Williams didn't do too much.
Not a whole lot for Jamal Williams, but I mean, yeah. Look at the Tennessee Titans. I mean, unless New Orleans Saints good great defense, and then
Yeah,
Nick Folk had 15 of their points for Tennessee.
yeah.
So I mean, if you're looking at kickers, he's probably already picked up, but
Oh yeah, for
that's
sure.
probably like 20 points right there,
hmm
28 points right there. So
Yeah, and then onto another game, Ravens Texans. They win 25-9. Ravens, I think they're gonna be good. They got a
well, they were playing the Texans, but
They
yeah,
yeah, I mean yeah, and they didn't win very many games last year, Texans, but they still have a lot of like star power. Like you got Odell
Odell,
Beckham. You have what's his name, number 7,
Rashad Bateman,
Rashad Bateman,
Zay
and
Flowers.
then yeah, Zay Flowers. And then speak of the Ravens, J.K. Dobbins tears his was it Achilles?
Hmm.
So he got, but that yeah, he's out for the season. So that's a huge loss, especially to fantasy teams. So I had him in my fantasy team, and
Yeah,
that's
so
unfortunate.
yeah, so big news coming out of Baltimore. J.K. Dobbins goes down with a ruptured Achilles. This has been like third, fourth year probably that J.K. Dobbins goes down with an injury. Yeah, just very injury prone, but he is a great running back. He scored a touchdown before he got hurt. He had 40 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter. So I mean, yeah, bummer losing him, but I mean you got pretty good backups in Gus Edwards and yeah, I forget the other guy's name, but they do have Melvin Gordon on their practice squad though.
Then
So
they might probably bring him up.
yeah,
Depends how. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he's on their practice squad, but
but there's another guy I can't remember his name, but yeah, Gus Edwards, and then they'll probably bring Melvin Gordon up. So two solid backup running backs, and
yeah,
this
but
another one
it
of the
always
guys
just
solid
sucks,
too.
especially these first games. Even there's a lot of injuries during training camp, but it just sucks so early in the season to have people not be able to play the rest of the season,
Right.
especially like J.K. Dobbins and obviously Aaron Rodgers. So next big game, we've talked up the Jaguars, Jags Colts, 31-21.
Hell yeah, that was an electric game too. It was a great debut by Anthony Richardson. He was pretty much the whole entire offense
Yeah,
on
running
and on the Colts besides Michael Pittman who he was throwing to.
yeah.
But yeah, he was pretty much the whole entire offense. Speaking of like C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and Anthony Richardson, I think they all played really well. I mean, I don't think I think they all lost, but
Yeah, they all lost.
still, I think they all passed the eye test of like, hey, this guy has something held in the pocket, threw a couple touchdowns, but also had a couple interceptions. And then C.J. Stroud didn't have any touchdowns, but he looked calm, cool, and collected. He just couldn't have freaking any time to
Right.
run or pass. But no, Jacksonville, yeah,
Calvin Ridley came out, played pretty well. I think he had over 100 yards.
yep.
Um,
Calvin Ridley, top 5 wide receiver, gonna be this year. I'm calling it probably top 3. But yeah, Travis Etienne looked good, 80 yards on the ground, go with TD, have a TD, and then 5 catches, 30 yards. So yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be fun to watch Jacksonville play. I'm excited to watch the
yeah.
Jaguars.
They'll be good. They'll be
They do
good.
have Kansas City next week, so
I think that'd be a good game.
yeah, it's gonna be a
But
good game. Kind of going back to last year, towards the end of the season, the Jags gave them the Chiefs a run for their money. Um, but yeah, Chiefs ended up winning that one. But yeah, it was like 24-28 or
hmm
27. So yeah, good game. But
last one.
yeah, is this last one? Or which one? Are we
Yeah,
on?
last one. Cardinals and Commanders.
Oh yeah, that
Commanders come out
wasn't.
with a win. Good win, good second win for Sam Howell. if you count week 17 last year. Good win for him. Yeah, running backs didn't do too much. I mean, Bijan Robinson, and then who's that starter? Bijan Robinson and I have it on
Tyler
tip of my tongue.
Algier, Bijan Robinson Jr. and
No,
Antonio
not Bijan.
Gibson.
No,
Brian
Brian
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bijan Robinson plays for the
yeah,
Falcons,
yeah.
but Brian
Brian
Robinson
Robinson for
Jr.
Commanders.
is the
Yeah,
one that got shot
shot.
and
Yeah.
walked out to
Who's their other
Miami.
running back?
Antonio Gibson.
Antonio Gibson. Yeah. So they didn't do too much, but I mean that's a good win. Cardinals obviously are. I think they're you know just throwing their whole
Well,
season,
well,
but
they picked up Josh Dobbs as their starting quarterback, so
yeah.
yeah, I don't know if they're really trying to go anywhere
They're
with
trying to just pick up that first pick to get what's
yeah
his name from USC.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah. So but yeah, I mean, yeah. Didn't yeah. Look, Brian Robinson looked like the lead back in Washington. Had a receiving touchdown. Sam Howell might have the dog in him. Who knows?
I think he does.
Yeah. Towards the end there, he looks like he compiled a good drive together and then had that running touchdown in.
Kind of a shitty game, but
Yeah, very
still, when it's your first game,
rusty on both sides. But yeah,
yeah,
Arizona's gonna be dog water. Houston might be three win
3 or 4.
But yeah, I don't think Commanders.
Bears, I think they're gonna be 4 to 5 win.
You think so? I think the
Yeah, they
Bears.
didn't
I
look
think
very
the
good.
Bears once they get grooving. I mean, yeah, Khalil Herbert looked decent. Justin Fields, I mean, looked pretty decent. You just got to get the wide receivers together. Darnell Mooney didn't really have a
And
game.
Chase Claypool is
Well, Chase Claypool, shouldn't even be on a team
no,
anymore.
he shouldn't.
But yeah, no, I like DJ Moore. I mean, you saw what they did in preseason. I guarantee.
Yeah, but
Granted, it was
the Steelers
preseason,
went
but-
4-0 in preseason, and
Right,
look, they just got their asses beat.
right, right.
But
So we'll see. It's kind of too early to tell. I mean, one
yeah,
game in, it's
let's wait. Let's do kind of give more of a rundown
yeah,
at week 3 or 4
yeah, right, exactly.
because you're eventually gonna play a good team. In those 3 or 4 to 5 games, whatever, you're gonna play a decent team to see how you can match up well with them. But let's go run through the week
Week
2 of NFL.
Yeah, well, let's recap week 1. I mean, we just did, but like we had our picks from last podcast episode.
Let's go over the record.
Yeah, I went 12-4 last week. Solid start, I thought. I didn't. Yeah, when I started going through the scores, I was like, oh shoot, I got 12 out of 4, and then my parlay was a 10 team, so I definitely would hit a 10 team if I would have put some of these games in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
the Chiefs and the Vikings really got me. Bengals got me, and
Jets.
the Seahawks got me too.
Jets.
Jets won.
Oh yeah, they did win. Yeah, I always forget that. I always forget that Aaron Rodgers. They lose Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah,
but yeah,
no, Jets
Well,
won.
they
So
they
yeah,
won and lost.
yeah, I went 12-4 week 1. Evan went 7-9. Big ones that we
Almost
kind of had.
500.
He had the Steelers beating the 49ers, Broncos over the Raiders, Patriots over the Eagles, which kind of a reach, but I mean they went. It was 20-25, so not too much of an upset.
Yeah,
And then Seattle over Rams. We both had that one wrong. Yeah, Rams looked pretty good with Matt Stafford out there. 338 yards. That Tutu Atwell and then that rookie out of BYU, Naku Hashai.
yeah. I don't know how to
Uh,
pronounce it,
Neither
but
do I, but those two both went over 100 yards.
yeah,
And then Cam Akers wasn't really there, but the Kyron Williams, their I think 3rd round draft pick, or something like that. He balled out and had 2 touchdowns, so he's kind of more of the goal line. But yeah, still great outing for the Rams.
yeah.
But yeah, and then the Giants. You had the Giants beating the Cowboys, but Cowboys
Well, now I know. See,
definitely upset the.
so I went about 500. I guarantee I go this week when we go over these games.
under 500, bud.
Yeah, it's almost one game. He's split. So if
Yeah.
I won one more, it'd been 8-8.
Close.
But I guarantee I'm gonna be way better than 7-9 this week.
We'll see. So
Let's run through them.
starting off Thursday night football, you have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. As of yesterday, the spread was 7.5. Who do you got in this one?
Eagles all the way. I got Eagles. We can predict scores, but I think we can establish just basing them off wins. So I'm just gonna go Eagles. I think it's gonna be that. I think it's, yeah, 7.5 is pretty perfect. I think it's gonna be actually more than that. I think they'll probably beat them 31-17 Eagles.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the home team. I'm gonna be a homer and go with the Minnesota Vikings. I think if the Vikings can put together two full halves of what they did, like yeah, if they can put two full halves together, I think they can beat the
And no
Eagles.
turnovers.
Yeah, and no turnovers. I bet you they're working on snaps right now.
They
I
should
bet
be.
you Kirk Cousins' hands are in that guy's junk right now, trying to figure out how to get the ball from him. So, but next game on Sunday, first game at 12 is the Packers at the Falcons. That line is even.
I
So
think it did change. It was when
it
I
might have
looked.
changed,
It's
but this was as of
it's one and a
yesterday.
half now.
Yeah, as of yesterday, 1.5 towards the
Packers.
Packers.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I'm going Packers like you did. I'm gonna stay home. Um, I just the performance they put on against the Bears. I don't think the Falcons are much better than the Bears. So I think it's going to be kind of the same type of situation. The Falcons don't really have a good. They have
Desmond
Desmond Ritter.
Ritter.
He's been in, he's been in the league 2 years.
2 or 3, yeah, but not very good.
So I think the Packers are going to get after him. We'll have
Yeah,
some turnovers, and our offense is going to do what they do. So
yeah.
who you got?
Yeah, I'm going Packers on that one as well. Really no production out of Desmond Ritter last week. Drake London didn't even have a catch, and that's their number one wide receiver, I think. Tyler Algier did have a game with like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, but then that was against whose defense?
The Falcons. They played. Let's see here. The Falcons. I had it over here. They played the Panthers.
Yeah,
So
so against the Panthers defensive line. Don't know much about the Panthers defensive line, but I know the Packers have a stellar one in Quay Walker
I'm excited
and
for
all
those
those
guys to get
guys.
after Bijan Robinson.
So yeah, and Bijan Robinson had a good debut too. I forgot to mention him. He had a good debut, but I still think the Packers defense and special teams is gonna win that game for him and have the Packers beating the Falcons in Atlanta. Um, yeah, next game we have the Vegas Raiders at the Buffalo Bills. In Buffalo, Buffalo has a 9.5 point spread as of yesterday, as of Monday. So
Yeah,
um,
I it's pretty crazy just the way the Bills performed last night. But I'm gonna still go with the Bills. I think that um, Josh Allen's gotta redeem himself. And I think that obviously Stephon Diggs, he is who he is. He's him. So as long as Josh Allen kind of takes care of the ball, doesn't throw those picks, I think that the Bills take it.
yeah, I'll probably take the Bills for the game to win the game, but with that 9.5 point spread, the way the yeah, if if Josh Allen doesn't slow down or anything, I think the Raiders cover that spread of 9.5. That's a pretty big spread for an NFL game, but
Yeah.
um, overall, if I'm just picking the winner of the game, I'm going the Bills on that one too.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bills on that one. So we have three first same three first games, but then the Ravens head to Cincinnati and take on the Bengals. Bengals have a 3.5 point spread. Who do you got in that one? Lamar Jackson or Joey Burr?
So I do want to go with the Bengals with how they performed against the Browns, which the Browns weren't that great last year. Just kind of basing it off that. I'm gonna go Ravens. Like I said, I like all their stars, all their skill players. I like Lamar Jackson. I'm going Ravens, and I think, yeah, like you said, that spread, yeah, it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than what the Bengals had last game. But I think, yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens.
Going Lamar Jackson and the Dirty Birds.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be a close game. It's kind of hard to bet on the Bengals the way they performed last week, but you do know that Joey Burrow is a dog, Jamar Chase is a dog, T Higgins is a dog.
Joe
Even though he
Mixon.
didn't get a catch last week. Tyler Boyd's a dog. Joe Mixon's a dog.
Joe Mixon didn't really do much
They
either.
got dogs
But
all over the place. I'm gonna take the Bengals at home in Cincinnati. They're gonna get rejuvenated by the crowd, and yeah, I have the Bengals beating the Ravens in Cincinnati on that one. So
yeah,
next game, Seattle heads to Detroit and takes on the Lions. And we saw the Lions perform last week against Kansas City Chiefs. Um, decent game from the Lions. I don't know if any team looked great,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, who do you have here? Lions have a 5.5 point spread over the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm gonna go Lions, but I'm gonna take the Seahawks in the spread. Um, actually, yeah, it's gonna be. I'll take. Yeah, I'm gonna go Lions. Um, I don't know. The Seahawks, I thought they were gonna be a lot better this year based
Yeah,
on their
they did.
first performance, but who knows? I mean, Geno Smith, he gets better throughout the year. So, but I'm gonna go Lions to start this off. I like to see the Lions. I like that head coach Dan Campbell. The grittiness that he has. I'm gonna go Detroit.
Yeah, this is in Detroit, in the Motor City. You got Jared Goff. Everyone's healthy. They're missing Jameson Williams, or I think it's
You have Jameson
Jameson
Williams, but he's
Williams.
out the first 6 games. So
Right, but they still looked good without him. They had Josh Reynolds step up. I
they
think
had that.
that
They had that kid from Iowa. He was a tight end. He's pretty good too. He caught a few. Yeah, Laporta. He had a
Sam
few.
Laporta.
I don't know whether they were digs or whatever that he
Yeah,
ran, but he
yeah.
caught a
I
few good
did like
passes.
I did like the performance from the Lions against the Kansas City Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions. Did not like the performance from the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith and the offense was non-existent. Kenneth Walker maybe had 64 yards. Yeah, didn't like the performance from the Seattle Seahawks, so I'm taking the Lions in the Motor City. Yeah, give me the Lions on that one.
Yeah.
Then we have Los Angeles Chargers heading to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Chargers have a 3.5 point spread on the Titans, and it's in Tennessee. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Chargers. With how many points they put up last week, I know they took the L by 2 points, but I didn't see, like you said, Tannehill throwing 3 picks. I'm going Chargers all the way,
yeah, I
and
do.
I think that's actually a pretty generous spread. I think that the
Should be higher,
oh yeah, I think that should be towards like the Raiders Bills
six and a
spread.
half.
No, I think it should be closer to like the 8.5.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's in Tennessee. Mike Vrabel. Um, I like Mike Vrabel. He's a great defensive coach.
King Henry,
Yeah, what'd you say?
King Henry.
King Henry. Oh, Derrick Henry. Yeah. But yeah, that defense over there in Tennessee is no joke. Held
Especially
the
with Chris Jones is gonna be back.
held the good offense to 16 points in New Orleans. And how many like yards Chris Olave had, and Rashid Shaheed, and then Mike Thomas. So I mean, defense is good on the Titans side. Chargers offense I think is just too much to handle. I'm gonna take the Chargers in this one.
All right. Yeah, next game, Bears Buccaneers. That's 3. The spread's 3. Who do you have in that one?
Yeah, so Chicago heading down to Tampa. Tampa has a 3 point spread. I don't know. I like Tampa. With it, I like Baker Mayfield, I should say, and I want him to succeed. I like Mike Evans, who hasn't gotten a contract extension, but with the performance he had last week, think he might. I mean, eight catches for
Yeah,
105 yards
I
and a
don't think it will be.
touchdown.
I don't know if it's gonna be an extension. He'll get a new contract, and I don't think it's gonna be with the Buccaneers. I
Yeah,
don't think he'll be staying there.
like you think you might get traded mid-year, is what you
No,
think
at the end of the
at
year.
the end of the year.
Yeah.
But then yeah, Bears. They played the Packers defense, great defense. Buccaneers had a pretty solid defense against the Vikings. I don't know if it was just the Vikings, pissing it down their leg, or if Tampa's defense was that scary. But I'm gonna take the Bears in this one. I want Justin Fields and DJ Moore and Khalil Herbert and those guys to show everybody, hey, we're actually the real deal. But yeah, I'm taking the Bears in Tampa. That might be an upset, but yeah, I'm taking Chicago in to beat the Buccaneers in Tampa.
Yeah.
So
All right. Next one. This is gonna be a good one. Chiefs Jags, and I was looking at this, and that's when I said Chris Jones is back. Yeah, Chiefs Jags. I don't know. I haven't heard an update. I'm not sure if Travis Kelce's gonna be back. Haven't heard anything on that.
still questionable, but yeah,
But
see,
I think it's game time decision, to be honest. Chris Jones, I do think he's going to be playing this coming week.
oh yeah,
It's
for
going to be a
sure.
tight game. I think that spread's very accurate. I think it's going to be about 2.5. Who do you got going?
Yeah, KC going down to Jacksonville, gonna be hot. It all depends on if Travis Kelsey or Chris
You
Jones
got
is
to pick,
back.
man.
I know Chris Jones will be back. Not too worried about that. If
Yeah,
Chicago or Detroit can put up 21 on them, I know obviously one of them was a defensive touchdown, but I do think, yeah,
you got to pick.
yeah, I'm gonna go Jacksonville in this one over the Chiefs. I think Chiefs might start out 0-2, 0-3, and then make their run like they did the last couple of years. But yeah, I have
Yeah,
the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Chiefs in Jacksonville.
yeah.
So yeah,
I'm going Chiefs there. Like I said, with Chris Jones will be back. Obviously, Travis Kelsey's going to be questionable or game time decision. And I also think that Kadarius Toney's not going to have the type of drops that he had previously. Hopefully, he's at the jug machine right now, just getting those things slung at his face because he needs to catch those balls. I know. I mean, if he would have caught that one towards the end of the game, that's a touchdown that he would have because he's quicker and shit too. Um, would have been they would have won that game. So
yeah, that tip pass that went right through his hands, and Detroit got that pick six. I think that was a huge turning point in that game, and the reason why they lost. I
yeah, he
think
had 3 total drops
it
that game,
just
big
sucked the
drops.
momentum out of the Arrowhead Stadium. But yeah, it doesn't look like anybody can guard Calvin Ridley. We didn't really touch a whole lot on Calvin Ridley when we are going over the Jags game, but he is fast, freshest guy out there, like coming off a whole season of not doing anything except working out, getting his speed right and everything like that. He
He's
looks he
good,
looks incredible.
but I do think that that game. Yeah, we'll go
And
over
then
it
Travis
after.
Etienne looked phenomenal too. But yeah, I have the Jags beating the Chiefs in Jacksonville on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have the Colts, Indianapolis Colts heading to the Houston Texans. Probably going to be a boring game, but I do like the Colts. I do like the way that Anthony Richardson came out. Michael Pittman connection. That's going to be a huge connection all year. Um, yeah, not much running game there besides Anthony Richardson with Jonathan Taylor out. You had Deion Jackson come in, had 15 carries for like 20 yards and a fumble. Like not impressive at all. But I do think that the Colts with their defense and everything like that can beat the Texans in
Yeah.
Houston.
Yeah.
Houston has a 1 point spread in that game. Who do you got?
I got Colts. I'm going Colts. I'm a big Colts fan. I'm a big AR fan. I like that rookie. He reminds me of a little kind of like a Cam Newton, where he can make plays on his legs, but he can also throw it to the air. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going Colts.
he. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah,
Colts.
I'm going Colts because I think even though they don't have a great run game right now, he can be their and like you said, Michael Pittman, but he can be their running back if they need to.
Right, and I did forget to mention Anthony Richardson at the very end of the game, like 2 minutes left, did go down and with an injury. I don't know if it was a knee. He kind of got rolled on. Might have been knee, ankle, but he did get hit hard in the noggin. So could be a concussion, but he is questionable this next week
Yeah,
actually. But who knows? Maybe
I'm
just a
still
couple days off and get some rest and recovery. He'll be back. But yeah, I'm still going Colts as well.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Next game that we got 49ers Rams. Um, just the performance that the Rams had last week. I mean, they put up
30
30
points
points.
against.
They
Yep.
looked good, but I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that are still questionable. I mean, is Cooper Kupp going to be playing? I don't think so because I think he got put
He's
on.
on IR.
So he's not
gone
playing for the
for
first 4
4 weeks.
games.
Yeah.
And the way that the Niners played, absolutely dominant. I'm taking Niners all the way. I do think it's a pretty big spread. But yeah, I'm going Niners.
Yeah, so San Francisco head into LA to take on the Rams. They have an 8 point spread. I have 49ers covering that spread plus more. I think that Rams Seattle game was kind of a fluke. I think Seattle just didn't play very well. So I have
Yeah.
49ers beating the Rams plus the spread.
Yeah.
And then yeah, going back to that Colts game, Gardner Minshew is backup quarterback if Anthony
And he's a
Richardson can't
dog.
play. So yeah,
He's been in that
either
situation
way,
with the Eagles.
either way, I think the Colts win that game. I
Yeah.
think the 49ers beat the Rams. And then next game, New York Giants taking on the Arizona Cardinals with the Giants at 4.5. Should be easy win for the Giants, even after the performance by the sweep from the Dallas Cowboys. I still think the Giants can beat the Cardinals. Cardinals are ass cheeks. So
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I agree that I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was kind of a fluke. Like I said, I don't know. I thought the Giants were going to come out a lot stronger
Yeah.
versus Dallas, especially a divisional game.
yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I do think that Saquon's going to pick it up. I think Danny Adams is going to pick it up. hopefully Darren Wall gets it going. And yeah, Cardinals. I just don't know about them. I think they might be the worst team in the league, to be honest.
Yep.
Um,
Then we go afternoon game. We got the New York Jets taking on the Dallas Cowboys. I think that's actually
I don't think that's a
is that
afternoon
Sunday
game.
night?
I think so.
That might be
They
Sunday
had so
night.
many primetime games because they thought Aaron Rodgers was gonna be playing.
Right, that might be Sunday night. If not, but yeah, Jets, New York heading to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Cowboys have a 3.5 point spread. Aaron Rodgers is out for the year. Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, and the boys look good. I'm going Dallas with this one.
Yep, I'm going Dallas as well.
I mean, the
If
both defense is gonna be a
it's not, I don't know if it's gonna be a very high
high.
scoring
I don't
game.
think so. With those two defenses.
The biggest thing is I've seen Dak throw a lot of interceptions before.
Right, and I've also
So
seen Zach Wilson throw a lot of interceptions
yeah,
before too.
yeah,
So it's going to be a defensive game, probably a lot of defensive touchdowns. So if you got any of those two teams on fantasy, you're
yeah.
probably
I
going to
just
be
It
sitting
just
all
gives
right.
me a dirty taste in my mouth. Just not because just talking about the Jets, kind of watching the Hard Knocks and stuff, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it was all the hype was there. The hype was there for sure for the
but
Jets.
yeah,
Yeah, just a
I'm
bummer.
going Cowboys as well.
Yeah, and then going Washington Commanders taking on the Denver Broncos in Denver, with Denver having a 3.5 point spread over the Commanders. I'm taking Broncos on this one. In Bronco country, let's ride. But they had a solid performance last week. Close fought game with the Raiders, a divisional game. But with that being said, Commanders, Sam Howell, first year. I guess you do have Johan Dotson and Terry McLaurin, scary Terry, but I still think the Broncos, they have good defense. I think the Broncos put pieces together, and take a W in Denver to show the home crowd
Yeah,
that we're back, and Sean Payton's taking this team to the promised land. So
yeah. I'm gonna actually go against you on that one. I'm going Commanders. Yeah, like you said, I think that get Brian Robinson going. Yeah, Scary Terry, Chase Young getting after Russell Wilson. I think the Commanders win. I think it's gonna be a very close game. That might be one of the best. Might be not like best talent. It might be kind of boring, but it might be a tight game.
yeah,
Where it could go into overtime. But yeah, I'm taking Commanders in that one.
yeah. Another good game potentially. Miami heads up to New England to take on the Patriots. Miami has a 2 point spread in New England,
Divisional game.
divisional game. What are your thoughts?
I'm going Dolphins just because the performance that Tua had last week, and then Tyreek Hill. Nobody's gonna stop Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
And yeah, Jalen Waddle. I don't. I have to go Dolphins because they put up 36 points versus a really good team.
hmm
So I think this could be a slaughter fest.
yeah. Depending on the weather. I mean, it is in New England.
Yep.
Has been rainy there. Then you also have to worry about Bill Belichick and his defense. I mean, he held the Eagles 25 points, Jalen Hurts to like 200 yards. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll see. Held the whole entire Eagles offense to 250 yards. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. Um, but I still think Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, yeah, all those guys. Raheem Mostert looked good last week. I think everyone on the Dolphins, uh, dogs. So I'm taking Miami in New England to beat the Patriots on that one. So um, this is Monday night. We have a doubleheader Monday night.
Hell yeah, that's gonna be
So this is
awesome.
fun. We have one game at 6:15, another game at 7:15. So we might have to flip flop in between channels. But we have the first game of the night: New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. This one might be a close one. It's a 3.5 point spread, or not 3.5, just a 3 point spread for the Saints. Saints looked good last week. Had a lot of yards on the for the game. Derek Carr with like 330 yards, and then yeah, obviously we went over the stat lines for Chris Olave
Mm-hmm.
and the boys. Um, Panthers, I don't have any trust or faith in the Panthers with the rookie quarterback, bad offensive line, not any really star power
Yeah, Adam
in the
Thielen,
wideout.
but
They have a solid defense, but I still do think the Saints beat the Panthers in Carolina. What do
yeah, I'm
you
going
got?
Saints. I hope that Derek Carr gets you going and starts throwing bombs to Michael Thomas. Obviously, that Chris Olave.
They did have a 30-yard hookup on the sideline over the shoulder. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
and then also like I hope Jamal Williams gets it going near the end zone, even in just like the red zone territory. And he's a back that can go out of the like do a bubble route for a
Oh
pass
yeah, he's
and
a good,
make a big
good catch,
gain out of it. So
good receiving
um,
back.
yeah, and then the last one on Monday is Cleveland Browns. at Pittsburgh Steelers. Uh, who do you have in that one?
Nah, this is a divisional game. Always a tough battle. Browns at the Steel Curtain. Cleveland actually has a 1.5 point spread in this game. They did look good last week. Hard to stop Nick Chubb. Deshaun Watson, if he can get things grooving and moving, could be scary. Um, Steelers, yeah, with that loss to the 49ers, even though it was the 49ers, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to give them any credit just by that performance. I'm taking the Browns in Pittsburgh to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you there. Just with how the Browns played against the Bengals, um, kind of shut them out, and didn't shut them out, but didn't held them to zero touchdowns.
Right.
And then obviously Steelers only putting up 7 points. Did not look good at all. Not what I expected out of Pittsburgh, but
It is
hopefully
in
they get it going. But
it is in Pittsburgh though, and those terrible towels once they get to waving, it's kind of a scary sign. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm still taking the Browns. I like Kenny Pickett, and I always we were talking Steelers. Watch out, they're gonna be explosive. They're gonna be explosive.
we hope, but who knows? Maybe
Actually, let me change that. I'm gonna take the Steelers. Fuck it. I'm gonna go Steelers and Mike Tomlin and Kenny Pickett and George Pickens, Najee Harris. I'm going with the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Talk myself out of it. I'm going Steelers in Pittsburgh. But yeah, those are week 2 games. I'm pumped. I won. I think I'm 4-5 out of my leagues that I'm in.
I actually went 1-4
Yeah.
on 1-1. Aaron Rodgers, he's my starting quarterback in all my leagues, so that didn't help me at all.
Oh, you might be have to hitting those waiver wires hard, bud.
Yeah, I'll pick up somebody.
But yeah, I went 4-5 fantasy, looking pretty good. Liking my teams, I guess. I mean, there's some. I started Drake London in one of my leagues, and he had 0 points.
Yeah,
Had the Miami defense -1, but I didn't realize that Jalen Ramsey was on pup list,
he's
and
not playing for like the first 7 or 8 weeks.
yeah, I know. And then yeah,
He tore his meniscus.
defense is kind of shattered. But I might pick up a new defense. Who knows?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna pick up a
So
new quarterback for sure.
fantasy's fun. Week 2 of NFL kicks off on, well, when this comes out, it would be on Thursday. So tomorrow night when this comes out. But Thursday night football, Vikings and taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I might be going out. Obviously because those are on Amazon Prime, right?
Right, right. I'm
So
not sure. The first couple weeks might be televised, but then yeah, Amazon Prime takes over Thursday night football games.
yeah,
But
but yeah, I'm excited for week 2. I'm excited to see what the Packers can bring to the table again. Hopefully we keep this win streak alive. I know we're only 1-0, but undefeated. Um, yeah, I'm excited for this week. I'm excited to see all the games. I don't know which one I'm most excited about. Obviously my own, but what game would you think that is going to be the best game?
best game this week. Vikings and Eagles is going to be fun to watch on Thursday. Um, Even though most of the majority of the time Thursday night games are trash, I think this one's going to be a good one. Chiefs and Jags. We already talked about that.
You.
That's gonna be a shootout.
What about the Ravens Bengals?
Ravens Bengals
That's a
will
divisional game.
Yep, that'll be a good one. Browns and Steelers are gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
Dolphins and Patriots will be a good one. All the divisional games are gonna be good.
And who
I
knows? Who knows
guarantee.
if New York Jets can come in to Dallas and keep that game tight.
Who
We'll
knows?
see.
Yeah, we'll see how Zach Wilson adapts to adversity and see if he can lead his team to a victory in Dallas. So that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited for week two to start, and yeah, pumped that week 1's wrapped up and everything like that. Officially 2 weeks into college football.
Yeah.
1 week into NFL.
Touch on a few college games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will. Yeah, I just want to run through some exciting news, like just big like sports news. Coco Gauff won the women's U.S. Open in tennis for the women's, youngest since Serena Williams in 1999 when she won it when she was 17. And it's just crazy when you win something that big. This was her schedule, so she wins Saturday. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama congratulated her on Twitter, all that good stuff. So you're getting recognized by the world. Then she was at Sunday Night Football, got interviewed on Sunday Night Football, and then went on the Today Show on Monday, the NBC like
Busy
Today
schedule.
Show. Yeah, schedule of a champion right there. So yeah, that was pretty cool to see Coco Gauff win that, and then Novak Djokovic wins his fourth U.S. Open title and his 24th Grand Slam. So yeah, he's the most winningest person in tennis history.
Hmm.
So congratulations him. And he's also ranked number one again over Carlos Alcaraz, who beat him in Wimbledon this year. So
Yeah.
kind of got his spot back in the number one rankings. So, but yeah, college football was pretty exciting.
Yeah, we'll cover that. You're on exciting news. Yeah. So some more exciting news. Sean Strickland beat Israel Adesanya to
Oh hell yeah!
take over the belt. That's pretty exciting for Sean Strickland. Not many people are fans of him because he's more of that like redneck type guy. But
Kind of arrogant, kind of cocky, but
yeah, he pieced him up and
beat the shit out of him.
yeah. So that's some exciting news for him. Obviously not for Adesanya, but Adesanya will be back probably to reclaim his belt. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was. I didn't get to watch the fight. I watched the highlights and just read up on some of the stats. Strickland landed 137 strikes to compare to Izzy's 94.
Hmm.
And yeah, like you said, is piecing him up in the head and the body. Hit 85 headshots and 45 body shots out of those 137. So
Yeah.
yeah, just piecing him up. And Izzy was doing leg kicks, trying to keep the distance away, but no, Strickland was coming up and keeping
Walking him
things
down.
close and keeping him
Walking
against
down.
the cage. So yeah, pretty shocking
Yeah, it is pretty.
fight
It
because
is pretty because yeah, but dominant performance by Strickland for
yeah,
sure.
but no one predicted Strickland really to win.
No,
Izzy, the last stylebender's been the title holder for how long now? Like
long time.
yeah, and just yeah keeps dominating. But yeah, it might be an eye opener to Izzy because this was the fifth ranked guy. It wasn't even number two.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, he tweeted something. It's like, yeah, I mean, obviously, this part of life. You win some, you lose some. You just kind of got to rise to the occasion. You can't be like let it put you down. You just got to come back even stronger. And maybe obviously there's some things that he needs to work on. For opponents like that will walk you down and take advantage of what like your weak
Weaknesses.
points are.
Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah, fun fight on Saturday. But yeah, kind of got drowned out. Maybe not completely drowned out, but a little bit drowned out by that Alabama Texas game
Yeah, yeah.
on Saturday night, which was hell of a game. You got to see Texas go down to Tuscaloosa and knock off number three Alabama.
Hmm.
Yeah, what did you think about the game?
That was awesome, electric, and it was even more fun just to see that. I think that Friday, Saturday morning before, Pat was on there.
Down in Tuscaloosa. He
Yep.
hosted the Pat McAfee show in
And then
Tuscaloosa.
prior to the college game day. But yeah, that was pretty sweet. It's so fun to see him on ESPN.
It is, yeah.
And then obviously next this coming week, college game day is in Colorado
Yep.
with the Buffs. So
Yeah, you got Colorado University taking on Colorado State.
pretty big rivalry,
In
obviously.
Boulder. Yeah, it's in Boulder. And I didn't really, I mean, with Coach Prime being there, obviously the spotlight goes right to Colorado, but I didn't realize how cool their stadium was. It's like old time, like stone brick.
Yeah,
like
they got that stone in the
fortress,
corner.
like fortress looking thing.
Yeah.
That field
They do have
is sick.
there's a big complaint about their jumbo screen. It's tiny.
Yeah, well,
So Prime will probably have to get some money for that to upgrade that if he's there for another year or even
they'll
like,
do it
they-
mid-year
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
On their away game.
Yeah, take a crane up and just drop one right
Yeah.
down and get it all
But-
set up. But
No, didn't realize how sweet that stadium was. But no, it's going to be an exciting game day. Like you said, Pat McAfee be on ESPN and then full time on College Game Day. I'm waking up at 8 a.m. just to watch
Yeah,
College
exactly.
Game Day because yeah, I love his electricity, love his energy, and yeah, Pat McAfee's the shit.
yeah.
But
And yeah, speaking
I'll
of Colorado
stop,
though,
I'll stop sucking his dick. Go ahead.
they have a big they had a big game last week, and I mean the Cornhuskers are big around where we live in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And they just dominated them.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a big game.
36-14. Yeah, I mean it's a big game for people around because you get the spotlight of Coach Prime.
Right.
But yeah, dominant game, 36-14. I think that Colorado's going to probably do that to every single team they play.
Shadur Sanders puts up another 380-yard game.
So he's already almost at
Three
1,000
touchdowns,
yards.
3 touchdowns in through the air, one in through the ground. That Xavier Woolsey or something
Yeah.
like that. Weavely.
Maybe Weavely, I think it
Xavier
is.
Weavely. He balled out, had like 10 catches for 150 yards and a couple touchdowns. Not a whole lot from Travis Hunter, but I mean, still
Playing both sides of the ball.
he played like 98% of the snaps. It's fucking ridiculous. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Colorado looks like the team to beat. They're heading to Colorado State. Probably put a whooping on them. But we were looking at their schedule. They have USC coming up next week after this week, and then they have another big game,
Yeah, who was that?
ranked game that they have to play. Tennessee, Texas.
I'll pull that up.
But yeah, they have a couple. They
And
have a tough
those are gonna be
schedule.
tough, but I think they can with how they performed the past 2 weeks, and we'll
And beating TCU the
yeah
first week.
yeah. So I'll pull up. I'm gonna pull up Colorado's schedule.
Yeah,
But
well,
go over some games from last.
Well, I'm just gonna go over the rankings here. So
Oh yeah.
Texas beating Alabama. So Texas was 11 last week, moved up to number 4, got 2 first place votes. Florida State moved up to 3. Michigan's at 2 and Georgia's at 1. But some of the other big changes was North Carolina actually went into double overtime with Appalachian State. Ended up winning, but actually dropped them in the power rankings by 3 points.
Little tune-up game versus Appalachian State whooped the shit out of them.
Right. And
Go for
then
longest yard.
Miami upsetting Texas A&M, number 23. They jumped up. They weren't ranked, jumped up to 22.
Good for Miami.
Washington State won. Washington State's 23. They weren't ranked. UCLA wasn't ranked. They're 24. And Iowa is now in the top 25 when they beat Iowa State. And Iowa State had a little bit of trouble in the locker room with 5 players being suspended for gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And then Iowa, one starter was suspended for gambling. But
Yeah.
yeah, more gambling issues and around college football, NFL. Yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous. But kind of a cool thing. In Colorado moved from 22 up to 18.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep moving up.
yeah.
They're gonna keep bumping up 2 or 3 spots probably every week. Obviously, depends who they play. I don't know if this is gonna bump them up when they play Colorado State and whoop the shit out of them.
Maybe going 3-0 though might help. But
Might help, yeah. But I'll go over their schedule since we're right on them. So obviously they play Colorado State like we just talked about, and then they play Oregon the following week. So obviously not this weekend, the weekend next. And Oregon is ranked 13th as of right now. So that's gonna be a tough game for them.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a
Oregon
challenging game.
Yep.
And like you mentioned, USC the following week or the week after that, they're ranked 5th.
Yep.
And then they play a few different weaker schools. They play Arizona State after that.
Arizona State's
Stanford, and then back to ranked team. But who knows if they're going to be ranked at this time because it's still 5-6 weeks away.
Yeah.
They play UCLA.
Yeah, they were just got ranked this
Yep.
week. So.
And then after that, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Utah. So they're playing.
Washington
They're
State's
playing
not
1,
bad.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ranked teams. And obviously they played 8 TCU and beat them. So 8 ranked teams total.
That's a tough schedule. And yeah, going back to Washington State, they just upset Wisconsin 31-22.
Yeah,
so,
poor Badgers.
Yeah, Badgers not looking too
And they
impressive.
played pretty good their first game.
Yeah, they did play good first game, and the quarterback played decent this game too. And so did their running back. But yeah, ended up losing 31-22. And then so that knocked Wisconsin out of the top 25 and put Washington State in there. A couple cool UCF, University of Central Florida, beat Boise State at Boise State with a 55-yard game-winning field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. UCF wins.
Had a big rivalry game last weekend, Iowa State.
Yeah, I mentioned that just a couple. Yeah, they ended up beat Iowa State 20-17. Again, Iowa State's missing 5 of their starters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And one of them is their quarterback. But so we'll see what happens with Iowa State. They're probably, I don't know how long they're suspended for, if it was just that game or if they're still investigating. But yeah,
I'm guessing it once they get that investigation over, I'm sure they can't play while it's happening.
Right, kind of a big loss for Iowa State, and kind of maybe one of the reasons why Iowa won that game, because it was 20-13. It was a close game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, we went over Miami beating Texas A&M pretty handedly. Mississippi State beat Arizona. James Madison, school that used to be in.
They still are Missouri Valley Conference.
They're in the Sun Belt.
Oh, did they jump up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in the Sun Belt. But yeah, James Madison is on a tear. They're 2-0, and they just beat Virginia. Virginia's looking kind of shitty. They started the season off 0-2. But yeah, James Madison is looking good. They have another close I was looking at some spreads today. They have another close game this week. It was a +1 spread for you for James Madison, and I took it. I forgot who they were playing, but yeah, they look good. Like I said, North Carolina went in double overtime with Appalachian State,
Yep.
and then we went over to the Texas Alabama game. Those are kind of the
And
some of the
not really
bigger
any
games
big
that
ranked games this coming.
not this week. We kind of
No.
looked, and all the top 25 ranked teams are playing unranked.
Yeah, there's going to
teams.
be a good one. Tennessee plays.
Florida.
Yep, so I think that'll be a good game.
Tennessee plays Florida. Yeah, there's a few other ones that you can kind of say might be a good game, but all 25 ranked teams should win this week.
Yeah, but we'll see. I like the upsets. I don't mind it with college.
Yeah, it's kind of
NFL,
fun to
I
see.
do follow NFL a lot more just with the upsets and stuff like that. But I do like watching. I got a team. I'm a Badger fan, but no, I just more like just watching college
Yeah,
football.
it's very electric.
And
when
I'm
you-
following the Colorado Buffalo all
yeah,
year. So
you see Oklahoma putting up like 66 points. Yeah, Florida State putting up 72. Like, yeah, you see a bunch of touchdowns and shit like that, which is kind of fun. But there's no competition. Florida State, I think, just won like 68-0 against some
Yeah.
other team. So not fun to watch. But if you're a Florida State fan, you get to see a bunch of touchdowns. So
exactly.
But yeah, no, that's basically it that I had this week. We kind of went over all the NFL games, week 1, and then
And this
preview
will-
for week 2.
Yeah, and
college games.
this will be majority of what our podcasts are like for the next, like we said, mentioned before the NFL even started, for the next 3 or 4 months, 4 or 5 months, whatever. This would probably be our podcast. We'll probably go over the previous games, and then obviously the upcoming games.
Yeah,
But
and then just touch on some news around.
and if you're a big bettor, it can kind of help you. You can kind of take our input and what we think of who's going to win the NFL games for sure. Don't trust us. We're not.
Yeah, don't take Evan's word. He went 7 for 9 last
Yeah,
week, so
but-
I'm just joking. But yeah, no,
Um,
we're not advocating go gamble or anything.
It is fun though, but
Definitely, you won't win. You won't win. You'll
yeah.
always end up negative. But no, it is kind of something that gets you more interest in the game.
Yeah,
but actually
just kind of like
getting in the
fantasy
game,
football
yeah.
too. Makes you follow. Like if you're a non-football fan,
Right.
having a fantasy team, watching the points go up and down.
Yeah, but
That
it does suck when your team's playing another team that you have a player on the other team, on the opposing team.
And you want them to do
score,
good, but
and
you don't
you're
want them
like,
to,
"Fuck,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
score here. We're winning. Yeah.
yeah.
But no, it is all fun and games. Pretty much luck. That's all it is. So,
Mm-hmm.
but makes things entertaining and keeps things interesting. But yeah, that's all I have. What do you got?
That's all I got for this week.
All right, hell yeah. But yeah, Skull Vikes on Thursday.
Go Pack, go baby.
Let's beat the Eagles on Thursday night to start off week 2 of NFL football. But yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got. Hey, I just want to say something. Yeah, hopefully Aaron Rodgers has a quick recovery because that was goddamn sad. I feel bad for all the Jets
Yeah.
fans, Jets coaching staff. I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers himself. Yeah, but episode 31.
There was a lot of hype going into the fucking Jets season with acquiring. That was just a
Bad.
bummer.
Yeah.
Very, very traumatic for a lot of Jets fans.
And Aaron
first
Rodgers
thing-
fans in general.
Right. First thing, I was watching the game with Ashley last night, and she doesn't know a whole lot about like sports analysis, like Greeny.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wonder what
He was
Greenberg's
having a party at his house and he had all the people over.
Yeah, and Pat McAfee FaceTimed him actually, but I was thinking, damn, I wonder what's going through Greeny's mind right now. And
Yeah, unfortunately, every Jets fan's feeling it right now, but
because the hype that was around.
yeah,
that
he's
team, hard
on a
knocks.
2-year contract, so just hope everything has a speedy recovery and he's able to come back for next year. Because I'm sure they'll have the same hype next year when they actually get a full season out of him. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But this year, yeah, I'm sorry, Jets fans, man.
Yeah, it was a buzzkill to the Monday night, but yeah, 9/11 was last night. So thoughts and prayers that go out to everyone who lost someone or who survived and fought, and the firefighters and the police and
MIPD,
first responders, all that. So
FDYP.
shout out to them. We thank you and everything like that. But pumped for week 2 to start.
Yeah.
Vikings start us off against the Eagles in Philadelphia. Skull Vikes. But yeah, that's all I got for
Yeah.
episode number 31. Until next week.
Peace.